if you're going to go after a elite running back prospect that's affordable, the options are Jonathan Taylor, CMC, Saquon Barkley, and we
Yep.
want to get the cheapest one.
Yep.
So if we Well, we're back in the college football playoff league with another
Yes.
quick off-season update. So the startup's been done for a little while now. We've watched a couple trades go down in the league. We actually made one of our own. We'll get
Team's
to
looking
that
a
here in
little
a
different
second.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you who tuned into our earlier videos and listened to us hype up how Marvin Harrison's going to turn it around and Travis Hunter is definitely not going to be a bust and how running backs are useless, we decided to offload Marvin Harrison and Travis Hunter and get a running back. So
Yeah, so the details of this one were Marvin Harrison, Travis Hunter, and the 302 leaving our roster. Barkley, Devonta Smith, and the 112 joining. So 2 Eagles, 2 older players. We definitely got older with this trade. But for me, the big thing we talked about in the last video was if you're going to go after a elite running back prospect that's affordable, the options are Jonathan Taylor, CMC, Saquon Barkley, and we want to get the cheapest one.
Yep.
So if we can do that at a reasonable price, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Clearly, we've capped our value upside a little bit. We traded away both of our could turn into elite young receivers.
Yep.
But frankly, I mean, Barkley could be a 1,500-yard rusher, and Devonta Smith startable week to week.
I mean, Barkley, I know it's dangerous to go off of history, but the Eagles had a down year last year, especially compared to the group coming back and what the expectation was from 2 years prior. So it seemed like one of those situations from a Barkley perspective of we're able to get him in that lull, knowing what his potential still is on that team. And then, like you said, for Smith, I mean, Devontae Smith's stock is only going to go up right now, right? He's either going to stay exactly where he is, which is one of the best wide receiver twos in the league on a good offense, or AJ Brown's going to get traded on draft day or sometime leading into the
it could be free agency. He's got a long time to potentially get moved.
And Devontae Smith could find himself as the wide receiver 1 in Philadelphia. So,
and how many, short yardage first downs and potential 2-yard touchdowns could Barkley snipe in if the tush push is removed, So I like the upside. I think, I wouldn't say we're buying extremely low on either of these players. I don't see either of them jumping back up ever to being, sort of top 5 at their position or even top 10 at their position. But
you don't think Saquon Barkley could be top 10 in his position again?
I think scoring in a redraft league, absolutely. I don't know that his dynasty value will ever jump back up to being a top 10 running back. No. If I didn't think Saquon could finish top 10, I think he'll be a late first round pick, or maybe early second round pick in redraft leagues, for sure. For sure.
Okay, I was just clarifying. I was about to say the trade just became terrible if you thought that.
No. The team we made this with, I think this was actually a reasonable trade for this. All right, so it was this Oregon Ducks team. So they had Lamar, they had Bijan. That's where they had wrapped up their early value. And then Devonta Smith was their only other wide receiver of note. They do have the 102. So I think between the 102, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Travis Hunter, and Xavier Worthy, they've got a young, could be good receiving core coming up. I think it was a good trade for both of us.
Yeah, looking at this team, that makes a little bit of sense because, as you did mention, Saquon has X number of years left, and it's on the lower side, 2, 3 maybe, where it's a real value difference maker in fantasy football. And Smith is older too. And so if he has a bunch of young receivers, Bijan, who's a young running back, and Lamar, it could take, as evidence with Marvin Harrison Jr., it can take a few years for a receiver to take root and be really successful. Thus, he could miss the Saquon window that he has. So it does make sense on his part to offload a few of his older assets if his plan is to be young.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. Now, looking at our firsts this year, we now have 3 firsts in the 2026 class. The much
Mm-hmm.
hated, much loathed, everybody thinks they suck 2026 class. And the gambit here is that I think we're buying slightly low on these picks. Not because the 2026 class is great, but because people get really horny for rookie draft picks once that rookie draft comes along. I mean, we've got to think we've got 3 months between now and when our rookie draft actually happens where there's no football at all.
It's a lot of hype window right
It's
there.
a lot of hype. We've got the combine, we've got the NFL draft. People are going to be really, really excited about these rookies, even if their analytics aren't as strong as maybe some other years.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're forced to stick and pick, we're forced to stick and pick. I still think that the Barkley Devonta Smith for Hunter and Marvin Harrison Jr. is a reasonable trade. I don't think I would have done it straight up without getting the 112 as well. But if we have to stick and pick here, we'll do it. But I think we're going to be able to move at least 2 of these firsts this year in the off season
Mm-hmm.
for good quality starting players. So
And that's the basics of what you look for in a trade, right? Is
exactly.
the value you get today and then the potential value you can continue to trade up with in the future. So,
Yep. Couple things just to get your thoughts on. I was talking to the Pickens owner. Let's see if I can pull up their team. He was looking for this guy. He was looking to get rid of Pickens for both the 104 and Devonta Smith.
mm,
I told him that was steep,
that's steep.
that I'd be looking at maybe something like Tet McMillan and another little piece, a 301, a Jerry Judy, Zach Charbonnet, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you think about moving both the 104 and Devonta Smith if it was getting us a Drake London or Tet McMillan level receiver?
Oof. It's an interesting question. McMillan had a really solid last year. I think the Panthers, can't believe I'm saying this, are on the up and up. And quite frankly, same with the Falcons. The Falcons are going to have a different, more offensive minded team next year.
Yep,
And those are 2 proven studs. As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, can take a few years for a receiver to kind of find its wings.
yep,
McMillan had a great rookie season, but Drake London is a good example. Um, I would be more apt for like a London, somebody who's proven it a few years,
yep,
rather than McMillan, who may have a sophomore slump in our position where we have a team where we can turn around and win it next year.
yep,
So trading a rookie pick that may be helpful next year, but may not be, and of Devontae Smith, who is a solid asset for a potential, that top 5 or 5 to 10 wide receiver next year,
yep.
that could be a difference maker in our league. So I like those kinds of trades. And you could always turn around and sell a McMillan or a London if you needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to down tier from stud receivers in this market. This is a
Yeah.
1.25 points per reception for wide receiver league. So they're really, really valuable.
Yeah.
Um, Let me throw another one by you. The Nico Collins owner.
Mm.
I don't think I would give both of them straight up for just Nico. But if it was going to be Nico plus a little piece from somewhere else on his roster, what do you think you'd want to go for there?
That's tough. The folks tuning in, my thoughts on Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins is a phenomenal receiver. I think Nico Collins is on a very subpar offense. So I see him as more of a boomer bust type guy. So yeah, Nico's a great receiver, man. But oh man, what I would be less apt to do this trade
Okay.
than London or a Tet personally.
Okay.
If we were going to do something like that, though, um, looking down the list, they wouldn't have any reason to move off of an Ibuka or Brian Thomas, but I would say Nico, one of those guys, and then we have to throw something else in on our end, I imagine.
Yeah, so they did say they love their wide receiver room, and they'd
Mm,
be loath to move off of them. But I think the
mm,
104 is enough of a solid wide receiver asset that we might could get a move off of Nico. The guy I
yeah.
was actually eyeing was Rico Dowdle,
Mm,
with the idea that he might find a significantly better landing spot this
mhm.
offseason than he's currently got.
Yeah, it's a fair point. That's a fair
Now,
point.
I don't know if that would be an offer I'd actually make. Nico and Rico for the 104 and Devonta Smith. Yeah, maybe Dad, let us know in the comments if uh, if you do that deal or not.
It's a fair point about that, though. I mean, he's splitting time at the Panthers right now. If he finds himself in a solo starting job, then his stock automatically goes up.
Yeah, I mean,
And he had a year last year where he kind of deserves a solo starting job if a team needs it.
I don't know that he's going to be a solo starter in the same way that like Quinchon Judkins
Right.
or Bijan is just taking over a backfield. But I
Hmm.
think he could be in a 1A, 1B situation that's better than Carolina. I could see the Commanders signing him, and it's him
Right.
and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt sort of splitting time,
Yep.
and that situation's gotta be better. Now that Charbonnet went down in Seattle, I could see
Right.
him out there splitting time with Kenny Three Sticks,
Hmm.
um, Minnesota, Arizona. There's a lot
Yep.
of places that, I gotta say Carolina's terrible spot
Right.
for a running back. We've got Chuba,
Oh,
but Carolina's also bringing Jonathan Brooks back from injury. They've got Trevor Etienne on his rookie deal.
right.
I don't think they're going to keep him. So that was that was
Brooks still have
percolating.
knees.
What's up?
I said, does Brooks still have knees? Dude's looking like Lindsey Vaughn out there.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Oh,
R.I.P. We're gonna have to.
saying.
Jesus. And with that, guys, we're canceled, and we'll we'll see you next week, non-monetized
You may
as
not see
always.
me, but I'll see
This,
you back on the test.
yeah.